The midday sun hammers down on the riverbank, baking the mud until it cracks like old pottery. Heat waves shimmy off the ground, making the horizon look like it is dancing in a blur. Everything here feels slow, heavy, and quiet. But that silence is a trick. It is the kind of quiet that hangs in the air right before a storm breaks. Down here, by the murky water, stillness does not mean peace. It means waiting. The river moves sluggishly, a thick soup of brown water and green weeds. To the untrained eye, it looks empty, just a boring stretch of water reflecting the harsh glare of the sky. But the surface is a mask. Beneath that brown curtain, life is teeming, and so is death. Large, gray shapes float near the surface, looking more like slippery boulders than living creatures. These are the river giants, the heavyweights of the swamp, resting in the cool depths to escape the scorching heat. Ears twitch and nostrils flare open to take breaths before sealing shut again as the massive heads sink back down. Among this cluster of sleeping mountains, a smaller shape bobs up and down. This one does not have the weight or the patience of the elders. It is a youngster, a tiny version of the giants, full of restless energy that the heat cannot seem to burn off. While the adults doze, this little one is busy exploring the boundaries of the shallow end. It nudges a floating log, blows bubbles into the mud, and waddles through the water with awkward splashing steps. The coordination is not quite there yet. Every movement is a bit clumsy, a bit loud. Splash, splash. Splash Dot, the little creature, seems to think this whole river is a playground built just for fun. There is zero awareness of the invisible lines that should not be crossed. It chases a dragonfly, snapping a small, rubbery mouth at the air, missing by a mile. The failure does not matter. The gain is the point. It drifts a little further out, away from the protective wall of gray bodies snoozing nearby. The current here is slightly stronger, pulling the youngster just a few feet deeper, just a few feet closer to the reeds on the opposite bank. Those reeds are not empty. Hidden in the shadows of the overhanging grass, something else is watching. It does not move. It barely breathes. It looks exactly like a piece of driftwood that has been stuck in the mud for years. But driftwood does not have eyes that track movement with cold, unblinking precision. This is a hunter, a creature designed by millions of years of evolution to be invisible until it is too late. The scales are the color of wet moss and dark earth, a perfect camouflage for this murky world. The predator sees the ripples. It hears the clumsy splashing. To a hunter, those sounds are like a dinner bell ringing across the valley. The target is small, soft, and currently all alone. The giant protectors are asleep, looking like a pile of rocks 50 feet away. The opportunity is perfect. Slowly, without making a single sound, the reptile begins to move. It does not swim. It glides. The tail, a muscular paddle, makes the tiniest sculling motion, pushing the long, armored body forward through the gloom. There is no splash. The water barely breaks over the snout. Only the eyes and the nostrils remain above the surface, locking on to the bobbing shape of the youngster. It sinks lower, disappearing almost entirely, becoming a ghost in the water. The distance closes. 10 yards. 8 yards. The youngster is still oblivious, busy chewing on a piece of water hyacinth, tossing the head back and forth. The innocence is almost painful to watch. This little one has no idea that a set of jaws, lined with jagged, interlocking teeth, is sliding through the silt just beneath the feet. The predator is patient. It knows that rushing will ruin the surprise. It needs to get close enough for a single, explosive strike. 6 yards. The water around the hunter shifts slightly, a displacement of pressure that sends a tiny wave rolling toward the unsuspecting calf. The youngster pauses, feeling the change in the current. A small ear flicks. The head turns, looking toward the patch of reeds. For a second, there is confusion. Something is out there, a shadow in the brown soup. But curiosity is stronger than fear. Instead of retreating to the safety of the group, the little one takes a step forward, trying to see what the shadow is. That is the mistake. The hunter senses the hesitation, senses the moment to launch. The muscles coil tight. The tail flexes for the burst of speed. But the river has eyes everywhere. Back near the sandbank, one of the gray boulders shifts. It is not asleep. It never really sleeps. Not when the young one is on the move. The largest of the group, a massive creature with skin scarred from past battles and a body the size of a small car, has been tracking the sounds too. The splashing stopped. The rhythm changed. And now, the water pattern near the reeds is wrong. The transition from stillness to violence happens in the blink of an eye. The water erupts. The hunter launches, breaking the surface with a terrifying speed, jaws gaping open to snatch the prey. But the strike never lands. Before the reptile can close the distance, a gray wall of muscle crashes into the scene. The mother has arrived. It is impossible to describe the speed of something that heavy. 1 second, the matriarch is stationary. The next, it is a barreling freight train plowing through the water. The displacement of water alone sends the youngster tumbling backward, safe but confused, rolling in the sudden wake. The mother ignores the calf. The focus is entirely on the threat. The predator, realizing the ambush has failed, tries to pivot, tries to dive. But there is nowhere to go. The giant stands tall in the shallow water, blocking the path. And then, the mouth opens. Keeps opening and opening. The jaws of the guardian stretch to an impossible angle, revealing huge, tusk-like teeth that look capable of punching through steel plate. It is a display of absolute dominance. The roar that follows is not a scream. It is a deep, guttural vibration that shakes the air and rattles the chest. It is a sound that says, "Back off or die." The reptile freezes. This was supposed to be an easy snack, a quick grab and go. Now it is staring down a tank with a bad temper. The size difference is comical. The hunter is deadly, yes, but against this angry mountain of flesh and bone, it is nothing more than a nuisance. The mother lunges forward, a snapping motion that sends a spray of water 10 feet into the air. The massive head swings like a wrecking ball. The hunter knows the game is lost. There is no fight here, only a potential crushing. The survival instinct kicks in instantly. The reptile thrashes, turning the water into white foam as it scrambles to get away. The stealth is gone. The dignity is gone. It is just a frantic scramble for safety. It dives deep, tail whipping furiously, hooking it toward the darkest, deepest part of the channel, far away from the enraged parent. The mother does not pursue. There is no need. The point has been made. The giant stands there for a moment, chest heaving, the water swirling around the thick legs. The mouth closes with a heavy thud, hiding the deadly ivory once again. The eyes scan the water, checking the reeds, checking the depths, making sure the threat is truly gone. Slowly, the tension drains out of the scene. The massive creature turns back toward the youngster. The little one, having recovered from the tumble, swims over, peeping softly. There is a nudge, a gentle push from the giant's snout against the small body, guiding it back toward the shallow bank, back toward the group. The river settles. The ripples fade. The mud begins to sink back to the bottom. The heat waves continue to dance on the horizon, and the flies resume their buzzing. To an outsider, it looks peaceful again, just a quiet river in the afternoon sun. But down in the deep water, a bruised ego and a scared predator are hiding, learning a valuable lesson about the pecking order. And on the bank, the little one stays very, very close to the gray mountain, finally understanding that the river is not just a playground.